Yeah, hello, Elmer. Hey, I've been out here cutting wood all day and I've got to run in and tend to getting them braces taken off. Can you handle the video for tonight, please? I appreciate it. You take care.
Hello there, folks. How you doing today? I hope all is going well for you. My name is Elmer. I am covering for the boy today. I think he had a dental appointment or something's what it sounded like. We'll just leave it at that. The boy and I were talking about a topic of discussion the other day that has been well debated over the years. And while there certainly isn't any one right answer, we both see pretty much eye to eye on this one. So we have put together a list based on a question that was posed that what should be the minimum requirements for a personal arsenal? And by personal, we're going to break it up into two different categories. First, what should every able-bodied member of the group have? And second, what should every group have? For starters, every member of the group that is of age and capable to be a contribution to the security of said group should have, at a minimum, 2 weapons. The good Lord said in the book of Luke, if you don't have a sword, you should sell your cloak and buy one. The modern equivalent of said sword is none other than the Glock 19. Now, this particular one is not a Glock 19, however, it is compatible with a Glock 19. Does it have to be a Glock 19, Uncle Elmer? No, it doesn't have to be a Glock 19. Should it be a Glock 19, Uncle Elmer? I think so, and the reason why is it is a dependable platform in common use, and by adapting to the Glock 19, you have the ability to utilize magazines not only for the Glock 19, but also for the Glock 17. Now, there are certainly other weapons out there that are just as good, if not better. We are not debating that. Furthermore, if you are hell-bent on doing so, you can have a different caliber or even a different style of weapon. If you want to carry a .357 Magnum, by all means. However, with the 9x19 Luger being the most common pistol cartridge in existence, I think it would behoove you to carry a handgun chambered for it. This particular one has some extras on it we're not going to worry about. However, I will tell you that having a light mounted on the front is nice to have. Moving right along, every fighting age member of your group should have an AR-15. It doesn't have to have all the bells and whistles on it. This one doesn't even have all the bells and whistles on it. But what it does need to have is a reliable set of sights of some type. This particular one has a nice low power variable optic with an etched reticle, which even if the batteries go dead, you can still use the darn thing. In a pinch, if you needed to take it off, it does have a set of backup iron sights. Another nice to have that isn't absolutely necessary is a flashlight on the front of it, much like what we had on the pistol, which really comes in handy if you're ever using it for security work. Now, why the AR-15 platform, you might ask, Uncle Elmer? Well, that is simple. They are in common use. That part is important. They are relatively reliable. They are relatively accurate. They are relatively easy to master the use of. If need be, with a little bit of effort, you could get your 70-year-old grandmother running a platform like this one. I guarantee it. Ask me how I know. Moving on from there, in addition to every fighting age member of the group having a pair of weapons like this, every group should have at least one pump-action shotgun. This particular one is a 12 gauge. If you have small or recoil sensitive shooters that might be using it, I would suggest a 20 gauge. However, I think for the most part, the 12 gauge is the better option. It doesn't have to be a real fancy one. This one is not a real fancy one. This one is a Mossberg 500. It is over 20 years old. You can tell by the larger cutout here. And this one works extremely well and is also, as you'll see in a pattern here, equipped with a flashlight. So Uncle Elmer, what do I need an AR-15 for if I have a 12 gauge? While you can certainly defend the home front with a 12 gauge, the AR-15 does allow you to reach out a little further and keep the bad guys a little further away from what's important to you. All right, moving right along. The fourth and final regular item on our must-have list would be a good hunting rifle. And by a good hunting rifle, I mean something like this Remington 780L chambered in the Lord's caliber 30-06. Now, while there are certainly many other cartridges out there that are just as good, there are very few that are better than the 30-06. A suitable alternative to that would be the 308 Winchester. That is also a very good cartridge. This particular 30-06 has taken more deer than some of these 6.5 Creedmoor boys will ever see in their lifetime. So a quick recap on what we've discussed. Every eligible member of your group needs to have these two, and the group in its entirety needs to have at least one of each of these. A couple of honorable mentions to our list would be a good .22 caliber rifle. This particular one is a Ruger 1022. It has a flush fit 10 round magazine in it. It also accepts these 25 round box magazines. I know what some of you will say, Uncle Elmer, a .22 rifle is an essential part of every arsenal, and I would argue that with you. While they are extremely nice to have, you can get by without one. That being said, save your pennies and get yourself one, and then you won't have to worry about it. The second nice-to-have weapon, which complements the .22 rifle in our group of what every minimalist arsenal should have, is an air rifle, a BB gun, a BB pellet gun, whatever you want to call it. This particular one operates at various velocities depending on how many times you charge the pump. If the neighbor's dog is getting after your chickens, you pump it a couple of times. If you're trying to kill a squirrel for breakfast, don't laugh, you might be there someday. You need to pump it 5 or 6 times. I think the maximum on this one is 10, and then it quits doing any good. So that's all I've got for you right now, folks. I'm gonna let you go. If you would like to see more content like this, let us know in the comments section down below. Until next time, take care, God bless. This particular one operates, I can't show you that on here.